Most people have a fairly simple idea how Telegram works. It seems like everything is obvious. The more subscribers, the more money the creator makes. 100,000 subscribers is a good income. 1 million subscribers is wonderful, a huge income. It makes sense? But the problem is that reality works completely differently. About a year ago, we started building the Insight platform. Today, there are almost 100,000 active channels within it. Every day, we see new advertisers, new publishers, the cost of placements, payouts, and the results of advertising campaigns. And one day, we decided to look at this data from a distance and answer a fairly simple question: what actually determines a Telegram channel's income? And the results turned out to be much more interesting than we initially thought. Let's start with the most popular myth about subscribers. For some reason, everyone is used to looking specifically at them. When you open a channel, the first thing that catches your eye is the number of audience members. It seems like that's what determines the cost of advertising placements. But if you look at tens of thousands of channels, it becomes clear that this number means practically nothing. We've seen small channels that consistently earned hundreds of dollars every month, and at the same time, we've seen huge channels that didn't earn anything at all. Why? Because an advertiser isn't buying a subscriber count, they are buying a result, they are buying attention for their product. The result is even more important. Take a look at the distribution of channels. Practically 95,000 channels, about 70%, get fewer than 10,000 views per post. About 15% are in the range of 10 to 30,000 views. Another approximately 10% get between 30 and 100,000 views, and only about 5% regularly get more than 100,000 views. At first glance, it seems obvious. The more views, the higher the channel's income. But this is where the most interesting discoveries begin. Within the first group, where the majority of channels get fewer than 10,000 views, the difference in income is simply huge. One channel earned less than $5 in a month, while another earned more than $1,000, even though their view counts might be absolutely similar. It turns out that views themselves don't provide a clear answer either. If you're interested in research like this, which is based not on guesswork but on real data from hundreds of thousands of channels, subscribe to this channel. Insight helps you see the online advertising market from the inside. Then we started looking for the metric that actually explains income, and we found it pretty quickly. It's eCPM. To put it simply, this figure shows how much a person earns per 1,000 views. It's impossible to say what it is exactly. For most channels, it falls between $1 and $10. The most interesting thing is that this metric never happens by accident. It's built on a large algorithm and depends directly on what kind of audience, real or fake, is inside your channel. Readers come through ads and are interested in what the author is advertising. Do they subscribe? If they do, the advertiser is willing to pay significantly more for these placements. If not, then even a huge audience gradually loses its value. That is precisely why the same size audience can bring in completely different amounts of money. By the way, if you're interested in how much your Telegram channel can earn, you can get a free audit within Insight. After connecting your channel, you'll see a forecast of your eCPM and estimated monthly income. Also, how interesting your channel is to advertisers in general. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment and in the description. Come on in, connect it, and check it out. It's absolutely free. We see the most striking example in the finance niche. If you look at small but very profitable channels, a rather interesting thing turns out to be true. These are channels with millions of subscribers. Often, these are small channels about investing, crypto, or just finance in general. But the audience is mostly real people genuinely interested in the topic. They actively engage with ads, which advertisers notice. So, ad rates here are higher than on channels with millions of subs. There is a bit of a flip side. As soon as a channel owner fakes even a few views or subscribers on their channel, the situation changes instantly. According to our observations, the income of such channels drops by 70 to 80%, and then they get banned because the advertiser isn't coming for pretty numbers, they're coming for real results. There is another mistake that many channel owners make. They start publishing too many ads. In general, it seems logical. More ads mean more money. But no. After a certain point, the audience starts reacting worse to the ads. People just get used to skipping them. The number of clicks drops, the effectiveness of the advertising decreases, and along with it, the cost of subsequent placements gradually falls. Over the last few years, I've arrived at a fairly simple rule, which I've already highlighted on this channel. It's advisable to publish at least 2 regular content posts for every 1 advertising post. This way, the audience continues to trust the channel, the center remains at its previous level or even grows, and the advertiser gets the result they are willing to come back for again. By the way, many people think that everything depends on the channel's niche. In reality, our data shows a completely different picture. Of course, niches vary greatly, but that is far from the main factor. What's much more important is how active the audience within that channel is. Do they trust the author? Do they respond to their actual recommendations? It is precisely these things that ultimately determine the real value of advertising much more than the niche itself. Here's another interesting pattern. When people try to make money on Telegram, they often do it without any investment, using only mutual PR, free exchanges, and very rarely buying ads. As a result, many such channels don't earn anything at all. Not because Telegram doesn't work, no, but because the audience grows too slowly and isn't of the right quality. We see the same story over and over again. If a person starts systematically attracting new, real users, the situation changes. There are more views, advertising metrics improve, and the SATR goes up. Advertisers follow, and your income starts to grow. Moreover, you can attract such an audience today in completely different ways, including through insight, where the advertiser independently chooses the target and what they want to get from their campaign. You are working directly with a large database of channels verified by us. After analyzing 95,000 active channels, I came to one simple conclusion. The main currency in Telegram is not subscribers and not even views. The main currency is the audience's activity in your channel, because it is trust that turns views into clicks, clicks into purchases, and purchases into satisfied advertisers. Satisfied advertisers keep coming back to this channel and increasing your income. That is exactly why one channel with 5,000 subscribers can turn out to be much more profitable than another, even one with 50,000. When you're planning to create your Telegram channel, don't chase after pretty numbers. Build an audience that is genuinely interested in what you're doing. And if you want to better understand how online advertising works, then subscribe to this YouTube channel. In the next video, we'll discuss many more interesting things. Now, I'm Matt Fay. See you later.